Marie Tremblay, who was a social justice advocate and passionate about helping those in the community of Toronto who were suffering poverty. It was her initiative to start the Daily Bread Foodbank, and right in front of me here is the headquarters of the Daily Bread Foodbank, the largest food bank in Canada. And at the time of recording this video, Toronto has a massive issue with poverty as well as with food scarcity. 30% of Torontonians suffer food scarcity at least one day per month. And that means they go without food for an entire day in a city as rich as Toronto. Due to the cost of living and the cost of rent and housing, many people will not make food their top priority. And so the Daily Bread Foodbank helps those in need. And right here at the headquarters, which was Marie Tremblay's, Sister Marie Tremblay's idea to help those in Toronto, and she was a part of the St. Joseph Order. And initially when she started raising funds to promote feeding those in need, she wasn't getting much help until 1985, when Bruce Springsteen, the musician, a very iconic musician, came and did a concert in Toronto. And right in front of me there is the trucks that bring in the food to this distribution collection headquarters, which is a 108,000 square foot facility. When Bruce Springsteen came to Toronto back in 1985, she reached out to Bruce Springsteen, and it was because of his massive donation back in 1985 that Sister Marie Tremblay was able to spearhead this initiative, which has grown into such a helpful organization for those experiencing food insecurity. And right here is gate 1, where those who need to enter the food bank, because there is a food bank at this location. It's called the New Toronto Food Bank, and it is open 7 days a week. It is also the volunteer center, and the Daily Bread Food Bank has 7,500 volunteers. And the Daily Bread Food Bank collaborates with a number of food industries and local farms. And the food industries, like brand companies, will donate their surplus food to the Daily Bread Food Bank, as well as local farms. And they have a farm to food bank program in which they gather perishable foods. And right down there is the entryway to the food bank, which is open 7 days a week. a lot of the donations do come from partners in the food industry and local farms, but a lot of the protein-rich items that the Daily Bread Foodbank needs do come from charitable monetary donations, because a lot of the fresh products that the Daily Bread Foodbank needs, like meat, fish, and dairy, and culturally appropriate food, do get purchased by the Daily Bread Foodbank. And when Bruce Springsteen helped Sister Marie, she was able to grow this organization such that currently there is over 3.5 million visits to food bank programs every year currently. And so that tells you how the cost of living in one of the richest cities in North America makes it impossible for people to put food on their table. And a lot of people who use food banks are not just people who turn to government assistance programs. It is also people who work, the working poor and low middle class people who have to turn to the Daily Bread Foodbank. And when they do, they're not receiving a lot of food because the Daily Bread Foodbank wants to assist as many people as they can. So if you do have to go to a food bank, there is a registration process, but you don't need ID to access the food banks in Toronto. And generally, if you do need the assistance of the food bank program, you're allowed to go to the food banks once a month. And when you do, they give you enough food to last you between 2 to 3 days. And a lot of people who use the food bank take that 2 to 3 days worth of groceries and ration it so that they are spreading it out for a lot longer than 2 to 3 days. But nonetheless, it does help those in need. And the food bank, when they do give out food, they base it on the size of your family. And this area here is an industrial area. So there's a lot of factories. Right across the street there is Lantic. And the Daily Bread Foodbank has been suffering of late in terms of donations, because even the working class in the city of Toronto are struggling because of the cost of living. But yesterday, April 27th, 2025, I read that the iconic band Metallica, that was in Toronto over the weekend with a sold-out concert, was so humbled by having a sold-out concert that they made a personal donation to the Daily Bread Foodbank in the amount of $40,000, which will make such a difference to the Daily Bread Foodbank. And with that amount of money, they will be able to offer thousands of pounds of food to those in need.